Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Devil's Digest postgame show following Arizona State's 93-89 victory over Cal Poly. ASU now improves to 5-1 on the season. As always, my name is Justin Lester, host of That's Publisher Hode Urbino. And Hode, obviously for ASU, 93 points, which is the highest all season, and yet another 80-plus point game for this team. But regardless, it was still a dogfight till the end.
Yeah, I mean, I joked that the game against St. Thomas was the classic survive and advance type of win, and I think it was just basically was a carbon copy of that. Definitely not a good performance for ASU on defense. Outstanding performance on offense. This is definitely one of those games, Justin, and you covered the team with me last year too, that they probably do come out on the losing end. But I did ask Adam Miller after the game, are you guys comfortable with shootouts? I know you want to play good defense every night, and he half admittedly said that, yeah, they're really comfortable with shootouts because the offensive firepower of this team, and we talked about it so many times already in this fairly young season, that's just head and shoulders above what we saw last year. So some games, I guess, ASU is going to win, in a shootout, again, in that survive and advance type of win. But I think the Sun Devils are definitely going to take it. Going to be maybe not as ugly as a film session as Duke was or Idaho State, but I don't think it's going to be too pleasant. And as I always say, it's always easier to learn from mistakes after a win than versus a loss.
Yeah, and only a 7-man rotation for the Sun Devils tonight with injuries to Sean Phillips Jr. and Austin Nunez. But regardless, 6 players scored in double figures. What did you like out of ASU's offense?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when we have a 7-man rotation, you really need every player to be on their game. And ASU definitely was able to do that. They're shooting the three, they were just okay. They only shot 10 three-pointers for the game. But I think the biggest star in that department was definitely Adam Miller, who went 4 of 6 from beyond the arc, 3 of 4 in the second half, scoring 13 points. He definitely was key in that survive and advance mode, for lack of a better term, that ASU was employing in the second half. Led again by who else but Jason Sanan. Somebody asked me before the game, why should Sanan still come off the bench? He's the best player. Well, I think that ASU, at least so far, has been able to find a perfect niche for a guy like Sanan. And if it's not broken, don't fix it. I like the play of Freeman and Mason. Each of them had 5 assists. Jaden Quaintance maybe didn't have a great game. I think started slow, middle 10 and first 10 of the second half played better. Maybe didn't finish the game all that great, but another double-double for the freshman, scoring 11 points and grabbing 13 rebounds and ho-hum 4 blocks for Quaintance. So it's just one of those games where the numbers on offense do look somewhat pretty. You just have to go to the other side of the ledger of the stat to see why this game was way closer than probably anybody thought it would be.
Yeah, and you just hinted at it. Cal Poly, 89 points, 51% from the field. We know what Jaden Quaintance is going to do on defense, but surely defense was the weak spot all around for the Sun Devil team in this game. What did you see from ASU's defense, and how do you think they could sort of fine-tune those little things?
I said for the defense, Justin, it was rotation. They didn't rotate quick enough for the three-point shooters. They didn't rotate fast enough when somebody was driving to the basket. We also just a lot of times just a lot of confusion, a lot of defensive plays that really were going nowhere. I would say probably lack of communication is always an aspect when you do play poor defense. And it's kind of crazy because Cal Poly was just one of those nights where they just hit you offensively in 10,000 different ways. They have 13 three-pointers, 38 bench points, 24 fast break points. It's just one of those things where it was almost like a whack-a-mole. I mean, even if you tried to, quiet one aspect, like two of the aspects would really jump on you. I think there's something to be said about playing down to level of competition. Again, I think Adam Miller kind of half admitted to that because you look at the games that ASU played really well and definitely the better teams on their schedule. GCU, Santa Clara, and even Gonzaga was a loss. We all know that that game wasn't too far out from being a win, even though the game was on the road in Spokane. And then you got that season opener against Idaho State where people were almost depressed after that game as they were after the Duke exhibition game. The game against St. Thomas earlier this week. Maybe prettier than tonight, but not by a whole lot. And obviously this game against Cal Poly, which came pretty close to being a loss. Yes, ASU did lead from ticker to ticker, but it's been a while since I've seen a game of ASU leading ticker to ticker and still being a white knuckle game over there in the last 5 minutes. But again, you got to give credit for Sun Devils to pulling it out. Again, their offensive firepower, something we talked about a lot in the preseason, did definitely come to fruition now. They really have played better defense at spots. But I guess you kind of look at the totality of the season. Against Gonzaga, it wasn't great defense, and maybe just give them a pass. It's a top 5 a national powerhouse. But wasn't really stellar defense against Santa Clara. Still got it done. I think game against GCU, maybe 30 minutes of so-so defense, but obviously still able to win that game in double digits. So I think maybe you're somewhat concerned about the defense. But again, maybe this team is going to be comfortable in actually winning shootouts because there is so much firepower. And again, with a 7-man rotation, it's a good thing that six of those players did score in double digits. And Bobby Hurley said, I don't want to make any excuses, but 7-man rotation really hurts you defensively quite a bit. And again, this team from Cal Poly, I mean, hats off to them. When you see Justin's highlights, you're going to think it's some maybe fellow Big 12 team or ACC team out there. It's just crazy how they hurt ASU in so many different ways. But ASU comes on top in the end.
Yeah, Hod, as you've continued to say, survive and advance. ASU went 2-0 in this quick homestand, and now next up on the calendar, Thanksgiving night against New Mexico, and then they play either USC or St. Mary's. So non-conference slate continuing to get a little bit tougher, especially on the road. What do you sort of expect to see out of ASU moving forward?
Yeah, I think maybe if the trend of playing up to your competition continues, then I'm not saying you shouldn't be worried about those opponents, or definitely quality opponents one by one. But maybe we're going to see just a total different team. Just because of the caliber of opponent. I also remiss if I didn't mention the free throws. Almost came to bite ASU tonight. They missed 9 free throws just in the second half alone. So that's something that really needs to get cleaned up. And even though they scored 93 points, Justin, I mean, I thought there were a lot of possessions that really should not have been empty ones. A lot of ISO ball. I don't know if they really were launching too many ill-advised three-point shots, but the offense just was not organized at times, which again is crazy because they did score 93 points, a season high. So there's definitely some things to clean up on offense. Don't get me wrong, but I really think on defense, again, it's all about the rotation. Whether it's an open shooter, whether it's somebody on a screenplay, driving to the basket. There's really just almost every aspect imaginable on defense really needs to be remedied for ASU because this is, I think, was really an uncharacteristic performance on that end of the court for ASU. So I would say more importantly, if they can really clean up the defense quite a bit, maybe they can come away from that holiday tournament in Southern California with 2 more wins under the belt. And again, for whatever reason, they play really much up to the level of competition. And again, New Mexico, whether it's St. Mary's or USC, the second game, that's going to be quite a step up. We'll see if ASU is able to step up as well.
Well, thank you, Hod, for all your insight. Arizona State now improves to 5-1 on the season. So to stay locked in on all the coverage, go to DevilsDigest.com. Follow Devils Digest on Twitter @DevilsDigest. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.